Welcome back, everybody, to a Fistful of Tangoes, the first ever money 1v1 tournament in Dota 2, at least that I'm aware of. I'm LD of Beyond the Summit, and very excited to be bringing you these games. Two of the players have been sent home so far, Korok and Merlini, and by the time today is over, two more will be going home. Will it be Korok in this first series, or will it be S4? Will it be Funnick, or will it be Sing Sing for the later match? The nightcap, if you will, although it's not really that late for most of you guys. We'll find out soon. But of course, game one has already happened for Korok versus S4. If you missed it, if you don't want to be spoiled, I suggest you turn off the stream now. Or just spoil yourselves, because hey, who cares? It's all fun. But if you want to catch the VODs, they will be available at youtube.com/BeyondTheSummitTV, our YouTube channel, which has grown very quickly. Thanks to you guys for making that possible. But anyway, Korok versus S4, Game 2, about to get underway. Very quickly, we review the rules. No bottle crowing, no soul ring or neutral usage of any kind. An extra 150 gold for the courier, and it must be used on the courier. As for hero selection, I've gone over this about a billion times, but basically we give the players 3 matchups. They each veto one of the matchups. We use a coin flip to determine which one of the remaining 2 is played. If they veto the same matchup, if they veto different matchups, we use the one they didn't veto. There's no picking for game 1. We use coin flips to determine heroes and sides. The first to 2 kills or 2 towers wins that game 1. Of course, it's a best of 3 format thanks to your feedback and thanks to us wanting to make this tournament as appealing to you guys as possible. We have taken your feedback into consideration. So for game 2, the players swap sides. They get to play the other side of the matchup, basically. And then if a game 3 is needed, we go to 1v1 Shadow Fiend mid. Will it be needed? I'm not sure yet, but currently, we'll have to see. Anything's possible going into this game number 2. Right now, Korok is leading the series 1-0. He played the Queen of Pain side of the matchup. Now he's got to do it again as Puck. Can he do it? We'll find out. We're in the losers bracket right now. We are in the losers bracket round 2, to be specific. 4 players remaining there, as well as Synderen at the end of the tunnel. But for this round, Korok versus S4, the winner moves on to play the winner of Funnick versus Sing Sing. The losers of these 2 matches go home. There's no round 3 to drop down, so you're out of the tournament if you lose your series here today. So with all that being said, we've gone over the matchups before. Queen of Pain versus Puck, Sand King versus Panda, and Invoker versus Windrunner. Not sure why I couldn't think of his name. His white eyes confused me. But yeah, these are the 3 matchups we gave the players, and here were the bans. S4 banning out that Sand King versus Panda, Korok banning out Invoker versus Windrunner, and they both were pretty happy when they found out what the other person banned. They said, yes, we wanted to play Queen of Pain versus Puck. We weren't too crazy about the other matchups. Anyway, so with all that being said, it's a Queen of Pain versus Puck. Game 2 about to get underway. Enough with my yammering and stuff. Let's get this rodeo on the road.
Prepare for battle.
Welcome back, everybody, to game number 2 of Korok versus S4. If Korok wins this game, he takes a 2-0 series sweep. If he loses this game, it goes to a deciding game number 3. Will he be able to do it? We'll find out. S4 had some really bad luck in that last game, as well as not perfect micro skills. If you've seen Shitty Digest, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, the micro skills were not entirely there. Fed the courier to Korok. 1v1 mate, if you feed the courier and it hasn't delivered your bottle, that's pretty much game. Even if you just feed the courier, it's still bonus gold to your opponent. And then on top of that, Korok got first blood, and that combination, that's like a 600, 700 gold lead just off of the first blood, as well as the courier death. So let's see what happens with that courier. I think maybe, nope, still using the same strategy. You're going to body block the creeps with the courier, and then aggressively contest the runes with your hero. Interesting, every player has pretty much had a different strategy this tournament. We've seen some players going for courier scouts, some of them delayed until after they've seen their opponent land, some of them just right away, why the hell not? Sometimes we see them parking their courier mid in the trees, if you're on the dire side over here. Haven't really seen anyone use these radiant trees because they're kind of out of the way. We've seen all sorts of stuff, and in this game we are going to see the courier block, which, I gotta say, if you can do it properly, it's a decent alternative, but obviously it's not going to be as good as a true hero block, and it's a bit harder to micro. But once again, S4 is going to get the rune to start, and it's another great last hitting rune. Oh, S4. Especially on Queen of Pain, who already has the slight advantage when it comes to last hitting to begin with. You can see right away, with this rune spawn, it's going to be very difficult for Korok. And I would say this is even worse than what we saw last game, because the illusions last forever, and on top of that, you're already better at last hitting, whereas on the puck side of the matchup, you're slightly worse at it to begin with, so it kind of equalizes things. But with having that edge to begin with, and then having this rune, it's going to be very, very tough for Korok. We'll see what he can do, though. He's just got to kind of wait out these illusions. He's managed to chip one down. But even though the damage already done, 6 last hits on the Queen of Pain total, 1 on Korok. And just continuing to chop away at these creeps. Korok, you can see that inferior, not having the illusion, he's not able to contest that last hit. When he tries to, S4 just easily claims it. If you do enough damage with your hero that even after your opponent attempts to deny the creep, it's still killable, but you can also just last hit it yourself, then it gives you such a big advantage with the last hitting war, because their pump fakes don't scare you. You just say, oh, hey, go ahead and try to deny that. I know you don't have enough damage to do it. And the small mind games, S4, using them to his full advantage. Fantastic. And then middle lane, S4 versus Korok. It all continues. Getting excited for today's later matchup as well. Funnick versus Singh. Two of the flashier players, I have to say, and Singh, of course, we've seen some crazy shenanigans from him. I don't know if we'll see it today, but we saw enough to last us a lifetime in the circus that was Merlini versus Sing. Rune is going to spawn, and it will be bottom. It will be a regen rune. When it comes to last hits, that early start by S4 really has accumulated. He's up to 12 and 5. Korok sitting at 3 and 2, just getting absolutely crushed. And this is what I expected to see in Sing versus Merlini. Is the Queen of Pain really does have, especially when it comes to last hitting, has the edge. Puck can definitely get kills, but it mostly comes down to forcing mistakes. And in goes Korok. S4 has already used that level 2 Scream. Is he going to be able to win the man fight? Korok's trying to run. S4 blinking it. Doesn't have mana. Oh, and he dodges the Scream as well. Can Korok orb his way to victory? Salve up by S4. Orb was still cooling down for a quarter of a second there. And S4 secures a first blood. This Queen of Pain seems to be getting the edge in these games. Of course, S4 hasn't won the matchup yet. Needs 2 kills. But a first blood this early and double the CS of your opponent. And rune control. That means you've bottle and you've boots, and your opponent may have neither, or just have picked up the bottle. No, still sitting on a bunch of tangos. Doesn't even have bottle gold yet. So S4, what he can do as soon as this bottle comes in is just start bullying Korok entirely off of the lane. It's going to be very difficult for Korok to last hit. Even under tower, when you have boots and they don't, you can just walk up past the creeps, let the creeps tank the tower, and then just scream, and even walk around to other locations where you can just kind of chip away at them with auto attacks. So having the boots and bottle when Korok is neither, it is an absolutely gargantuan advantage of 1v1. Don't be fooled by the fact that these are small items. This can completely throw the game in the other direction. In spite of that, Korok's even going in, but I feel S4 is just waiting for this. Scream number 1. Now the bottle up. Maybe it's not. Is he actually going to get the kill? Oh, S4 does blink away. Good thing for him he didn't go for Shadow Strike, because if he did, that blink still would have been cooling down, and he may have been in a bit more trouble. S4 looking for that killing blow. Korok's already used everything. Nothing up his sleeve. 2 quick kills for S4. And we're headed to a game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. S4 does it. He draws it back. It is now a 1-1 series. And now it comes for some shenanigans. It's time for that 1v1 Shadow Fiend mid. And if you guys haven't seen this before, let me just reiterate. There are no items. There are no runes. And the reason for that is one of the heroes must be created via cheats. I know Valve has implemented a 1v1 mode, at least in their test patch. I actually don't know if it's been released yet, but these matches were played previously anyway, so they are going to be using the old format. Moving forward, though, if only mid mode doesn't have bugs, we will be planning to use it. But for today, it comes down to 1v1 Shadow Fiend mid with no items and no runes. Ladies and gentlemen, we're headed to a game number 3. It's a doubleheader today to begin with, but before we even get to that second match, Funnick versus Singh awaits. But first, we got to wrap this one up. Korok versus S4, game 3, coming up soon.